The quarterfinals of the Cruiserweight Championship Tournament are underway. Let's talk about it. It's your buddy, it's your pal Spaz Phoenix, the YWC Reality Check, here with your February 27th, 2005 live review. And if you haven't been watching very long, here's the drill. We get the house cleaning out of the way first. Now, most of you know, Elimination Chamber took place on Sunday. We did the pay-per-view Pick 'em. Gonna give you guys the results. Now, I love that you guys come along. I love that you guys participate in this. I love that people are so into the pay-per-view pick'em concept that they give me their picks before the pick'em video actually goes out. What I would encourage you to do, even if you give me your picks in advance, which is great, go back, watch the pick'em video, because I have started in including bonus questions, and I have indeed started a Twitter bonus system for these games. Now, for the Elimination Chamber, the results are as follows. Unfortunately, Kristen was not able to join us this time around. Guapo got 12, Matt D got 14, Train Holland got 16, Cheney815 got 17, I got 18, strifenineteen got 19, ironically enough, and Mizark10 got 20. Also a little bit ironic. Now, I want you to note, once again, that the top three, I'm kind of including myself, so that's a little bit lame, but the top three scorers in the game are all people that took advantage of that Twitter bonus. And now, I know, at the end of the day, this isn't very important. I don't have any prizes. I don't have anything to give you guys other than a quick shout-out. But trying to make it as interactive as I possibly can, sticking in the bonus questions, you know, throwing a wrench in everybody's plans as far as adding to the actual predictions of the matches, because I mean, between the Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber, Fastlane, and I'm assuming WrestleMania, there's a lot of multi-person matches. So you look at a match, and especially we just finished watching SmackDown before 205 Live came on, and their main event is now going to be a six-pack challenge. Two of the matches at Elimination Chamber had 6 and 7 people in them respectively. So to only get one set of points for saying is going to win didn't seem like enough, and the Royal Rumble was a lot of fun, just coming up with extra added stuff. I guarantee you, when WrestleMania comes around, one of the bonus questions will be, is Carmella going to cash in her Money in the Bank on somebody? So think about that. But thank you to Guapo, thank you to Matt, Train Holland, Cheney815, Strife19, and congratulations to Mizark10 with your 20 points. You got your win, and you are the Elimination Chamber winner. Check the list of winners is down in the box below. Now, speaking of the main event roster, now I don't review Raw and SmackDown, as you guys know, but I have to say, right here and right now, we know that as long as it stays AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the WWE Championship, that's probably going to be the best in-ring match of the night. I am going to say now, because there was a rumor that The Miz was going to fight Braun Strowman, which would have been like watching a slow-motion shit. The rumor right now, and based on what we saw on Monday Night Raw, is that it's going to be Miz versus Balor versus Rollins. Now, if that is the case, if they don't blow this up and make it a stupid 20-person ladder match for the mid-card titles because they don't give a shit, if they keep it as Miz, Balor, Rollins, WrestleMania, I am making the call right now. That is going to be the second best match of the WrestleMania card. Now, that's really irrelevant to what we're talking about tonight, because we're talking about 205 Live. We're going to talk about, eventually, who's going to be the 205 Live Cruiserweight Champion. That's what we're doing the whole tournament bit right now here, aren't we? But I will encourage you guys to go check out the annotation up above, see all my other coverage about the 205 Live, NXT, check out the Off the Cuff series, the Q&A. Please add your questions to the Q&A. The Q&A for March will be done the week before WrestleMania. It will either be done, give you an idea of how my schedule is, guys, because it's kind of fucked sometimes. It will either be done the Monday or the Friday before WrestleMania, so you have until then to get your questions in. But check the annotation, check out the January Q&A, throw your questions in the box down below there. As I say, lots of other coverage on 205 Live, this whole tournament that we've been talking about, NXT. We're going to be talking about the Dusty Classic tournament while we talk about NXT, and the Off the Cuff series is basically everything else that doesn't fall into one of those categories. Now, let's talk about 205 Live tonight. As I said, as the clipboard falls down, because I'm super professional, the quarterfinals got off tonight. We started with a recap from last week, which is cool. Sometimes when wrestling, they do the, hey, last time on 205 Live, it sounds like they're, like it's a comic book show, and it doesn't really work. The way NXT does it is nice and simple, and we recapped Gallagher versus Ali, which was a fucking amazing match, and Daivari versus Buddy Murphy, which reminds me of something else I should say to you guys. Now, you guys know I went to NXT Mississauga this past Thursday. If you haven't seen the video, I believe it'll be the last one before this one. There are some photo and video highlights of that show. The opening match of that show was indeed Buddy Murphy versus the debuting Ricochet. So in a couple weeks, when he debuts on NXT, I'm going to laugh a lot because I saw him last Thursday. Now, you guys know I don't do the indie thing. I don't know anything about Ricochet or Prince Puma or whatever the hell they... What else did they call him? They actually called him Sean Mann at one point, and apparently they went back to Ricochet. I will say, great looking talent in the ring from what I've seen so far. Murphy's also impressing me more than I thought he would. If what I heard at the NXT Mississauga show is his entrance music, because I'm tired. Entrance music, then they need to change it up because it was generic as fuck. Also, it's just one of those little things. Great match. Great first viewing of me. Kind of interesting to see somebody live in person before I ever see them on TV, so it'll be interesting to see, obviously, what that looks like on TV, but good match, and from what I can see, the guy's impressive as hell. I hope we can throw all the enthusiasm behind him that we were going to throw behind Lio Rush before we realized that he was a bit of a knob. Moving on. As I say, I'm going to get into more detail tomorrow night when we talk about NXT about that show, because it was a lot of fun. And I've never been to the Hershey Center, even though it's like 20 minutes away from me, and that was a cool experience as well. Cedric Alexander versus TJP is the first match of the night. There was no extra match this week. There was a match last week with the Lucha House Party. Now, I know you have to break up the story. Sometimes you can't be like tournament. You throw in a random, I guess you call it like a bridge match or a rest match or I don't want to say a piss break because that's not what it is, but to have the Lucha House Party in there was really a chance to sort of take a breather and just chill for a second. We didn't have that this week. We had two fantastic matches, and as I've been saying about 205 Live and about NXT in the past couple of weeks, it seems they're putting their best matches on first. Now, no offense to Kalisto or Roderick Strong, but Alexander versus TJP was the better match. TJP being such a dick coming out of the first CWC and talking about how he's the first ever champion, he'll be the champion again, he's going to win this tournament, he's going to go to WrestleMania, etc., etc., etc. Collar and elbow tie up and some chain wrestling, a chain wrestling sequence to start. Spinning powerbomb by Cedric is a nice little first move, and then he rides a headlock. Now, the interesting thing about this, and I'm going to mention this one more time tonight in the next match, there are people out there, and I'm not going to mention Goofball from New York by name, but they are saying, oh, if you want to fix 205 Live, you have to put it back in Full Sail. You have to put it back in the smaller arena. You have to put it in front of one specific NXT crowd or else it's not going to get over. Listen to the crowd tonight. They were chanting TJP for the majority of this match, and they were boisterous as hell in general. And this is a crowd that already had to sit through SmackDown. So if you're telling me that the cruiserweights cannot get over in front of a larger audience, you, sir, are a fucking moron. Bridging head scissor headlock combination by TJP. Cedric works the arm, wrist, and shoulder. Side headlock by TJP, reversed into an armbar by Cedric. STF by TJP, because that was just fun to write. Reversed into a roll-up by Cedric for a 2 count. Boot and a head scissor by TJP. Dropkick by Cedric. Head scissor into an armbar by TJP. He basically hit him with the head scissor, held on, rolled through, locked in the armbar. Great combination. TJP, because he's such an obnoxious character, really does get overlooked as far as being a talent in the ring. He is the next Miz. Let's just put it that way. As far as you guys know how my fandom works. Corner uppercuts by TJP, corner chops by Cedric, back and neck breaker by TJP, and stomps to the face, which are always nice. Head and arm lock by TJP and a boot by Cedric. Indian deathlock standing on the head by TJP is fucking wonderful. Corner back elbow by TJP and a slingshot senton. They trade some punches and a flying back elbow by TJP. Abdominal stretch with the elbow in the ribs by TJP. I love it. The abdominal stretch is a great fucking simple rudimentary move. You know, it's a rest hold. It gives the wrestlers a chance to have a break in the ring. But when you got an abdominal stretch and you're working the ribs and you're working the midsection like these guys are, and then you jab your elbow into the exposed ribs, it's fucking wonderful. Snap vertical suplex by TJP and uppercuts by Cedric. Handspring enziguri by Cedric and a springboard mic check, which I was not expecting. Speaking of mic check, for anybody that cares, Mr. Anderson / Mr. Kennedy has a podcast. Go listen to it. It's fucking wonderful. Lung blower by TJ. I love the lung blower, and they keep on changing the name of it. They keep calling it a gut buster, but a gut buster is something else entirely. Low drop kick to the knee, and this is where the story goes for the rest of the time. Cedric's knee is the story for the rest of this match. Roundhouse and a suicide senton by Cedric. They trade some more punches, and that knee bar by TJP that won him the Cruiserweight Classic follows it up by a series of kicks. Lumbar check is countered into a knee bar again by TJP. Body shots and a spin kick by TJP. Cedric Alexander musters himself up together long enough to hit the lumbar check. Cedric Alexander advances to the quarter final. We see Cedric Alexander, we see him in the same light that we saw him in the Cruiserweight Classic when the entire crowd was chanting, "Please sign Cedric," and Triple H had to come and raise the guy's hand just to get him off of TV. This was a great match. Not a bad outing by TJP either, and pretty cool that this crowd that is supposedly so dead, and the crowd that the Cruiserweights will never get over in front of, was not only cheering, but showing a lot of respect for the heel in this match, for the loser in this match, for what he did in this ring tonight. Cedric Alexander was obviously going to be your winner here. Let's be real. This match and the next match we're about to talk about, the results were pretty damn predictable, but that did not take away from the enjoyment of the match, and that's a good measuring stick, isn't it? In the back, we see clips of an interview with Drake Maverick and what his view is for 205 Live. Basically, he talks to, basically flips back and forth between him talking and what we've seen from him the past couple of weeks. Him slapping some sense into Gulak, into Nice, into TJP, and telling Jack Gallagher to get proper wrestling attire, etc. It's all good. Basically, what they're saying, without saying what Triple H is saying, through Drake Maverick is, hey, Vince is out, I'm in, we're getting rid of the goofy shit, and we're focusing on wrestling. Isn't that wonderful? Roderick Strong versus Kalisto. Now, let me tell you something about this one. Kalisto is a lot of fun. Kalisto is that one guy that was stuck on SmackDown while all the Cruiserweights were on Raw, and we're saying, why isn't this guy in the Cruiserweight division? Why isn't this guy over there fighting for their championship? He belongs over there. Why is he on SmackDown? And then they sent him over there, and it was basically just something to use against Enzo. Oh, let's talk about Enzo for a second, because you guys know you love hearing about my opinion of Enzo Amore. Not only did my boy Enzo get fucked by a serial liar whose name I can't even remember, not only did WWE fuck the pooch by backing and adding credence to this girl's claims and firing him, apparently now they're taking signs from fans, and I posted it on Twitter. You guys go follow me at SpazPhoenix1, and you'll see the picture that I shared of the sign. Somebody took a picture of the sign backstage. It just said Enzo didn't do it. So not only did Enzo get fucked by this girl who ruined his fucking life, not only was WWE complicit in the ruining of this guy's life, now they're censoring Enzo's fans for telling the truth. And that's okay. But okay, and there's something else at a house show with Kyrie Sane that I'm going to talk about tomorrow because it's a little juicier. But fuck WWE and their censorship, especially when people are telling the truth. Let's be fucking real for a second. But Kalisto versus Roderick Strong, like I say, getting back on point. I just had to point that out because it's fucking ridiculous. Kalisto's a lot of fun. Kalisto's talented as hell in the ring, but you see how over Roderick Strong is. And it's just like, okay, Kalisto is going to be the Dolph Ziggler in this situation, isn't he? Strong works the arm to start with an armbar and a key lock. Kalisto reverses, working the wrist and the shoulder. Arm drag and a head scissor combination by Kalisto. Kalisto tries for a slingshot senton, sort of Eddie Guerrero style slingshot senton, and Strong casually backs up and lets him basically land in the first backbreaker of the match. Chops by Strong, boot and a head scissor by Kalisto. Guardrail, basically... Oh, fuck, how the hell am I going to describe this now? Strong is on the outside. Kalisto's on the outside. Kalisto runs the rail, catches Strong in a head scissor, and head scissors him into the rail, which is fucking wonderful. Now, Roderick Strong, not to be outdone, shoves him back first into the apron, and then hits a Pete Dunne-style X-Plex on Kalisto on the commentary table, which leads the crowd, you know, the crowd that's dead, the crowd that the Cruiserweights will never get over in front of, in a vigorous 205 Live chant. Now, we will never hear in our lives a Raw chant, a SmackDown chant, a WWE chant in general. What do we hear? We hear chants for the cult favorites. We hear chants for ROH. We heard chants for TNA back when TNA was good. We heard chants for ECW. We hear chants for NXT. Now we're getting chants for 205. So please, and Goofball, I'm looking at you. Please tell me that these Cruiserweights cannot get over in a large arena. Go fuck yourself. Mudhole stomps by Strong, corner chops and a dragon screw. They trade some punches and a dropkick by Strong. Gory special by Strong. And I will say, short of Sasha Banks, there is nobody that contorts themselves as much to sell a submission maneuver as Kalisto, and it looks really, really good. Arm drag by Kalisto out of the Gory special. Seated senton and a corkscrew elbow by Kalisto. Spin kick by Kalisto and a basement Hurricane Rana. Now, the first time he went for the basement Hurricane Rana, he couldn't get it all the way. Even the commentators made a point of saying that he didn't get all of that he wanted. The second time, he definitely did. Kalisto, and this is fucking brilliant by Roderick Strong, Kalisto tries for the Salida del Sol, which admittedly is a pretty fucking maneuver. Now, he tries for the Salida del Sol. Strong stops him midair and hangs him gut first on the top rope, which I'm not gonna lie, made me smile a whole lot. Angle slam by Strong, rolling kick by Kalisto. Both men, they go up to do something. Strong has Kalisto up on the top rope, and it looks like either Kalisto's going to hit a face buster on him, Kalisto's going to hit a head scissor on him, or Roderick Strong's going to hit a top rope, another backbreaker, some sort of modified version of a backbreaker from the top rope. None of those things really happen, and they come off, and I don't know what they were going for. It looks almost like Kalisto was trying to do a modified Salida del Sol from the top rope, but it just looked messy, to the point where even the commentators got a bit awkward and said, you know, we're not really sure what happened there. All we know is Strong landed on his shoulder pretty fucking hard. They trade some punches, they trade some kicks, and a high knee by Strong. Backbreaker, end of heartache, Strong wins. Now, here is one problem I have with this tournament and the way the brackets worked out for this tournament. You guys know, big, huge, gigantic fan of Mustafa Ali, who exists on the other side of this bracket. He's going to own the other side of his bracket. Now, this bracket is going to come down to Strong versus Alexander. Now, big fan of both these guys. You know, it took me, those of you that have been watching my NXT review know it took me a long time to warm up to Roderick Strong. Great guy in the ring, didn't really care. 205 Live has made me care. If that's weird to say. The same thing can be said about Buddy Murphy, because you guys know I could not give two flying shits about the Blake and Murphy tag team in NXT, other than the fact that they were holding back Alexa Bliss. Now, Roderick Strong versus Cedric Alexander. I wish this was the match that we were going to see at WrestleMania. It's not, and it's going to be, I'm guaranteeing right now, on the other side of the bracket, it's going to be Mustafa Ali. This quarterfinal match, this semifinal match, rather, between Cedric Alexander and Roderick Strong is going to be the best match of this tournament. Unfortunately, that means the match that actually makes it to WrestleMania will not be the best match of this tournament, which is unfortunate. And I don't know how they go with this one, because the 205 Live born and bred guys, the CWC born and bred guys in this tournament, out of those three guys, are Alexander versus Ali. But I kind of want to see Roderick Strong progress. I wish they had done the bracket a different way. I really do. It means that in 2 weeks, we're going to get the best match of this tournament, unfortunately. But Strong wins, and Strong really does heal it up a little bit in this match. He does get super aggressive and a bit vicious at the end of this match, which does create some contrast from the normal happy-go-lucky, I'm just going to go in there, be the fighting guy, not the fighting champion, because I'm not a champion, but that fighting champion-esque character. And I'm going to do everything the right way. I'm going to work really hard. I'm going to get my success that way. There's a little bit of a vindictive side towards the end of this match, and a little bit of a cocky side towards the end of this match, which, when you consider the size difference between the two of them, does make Roderick Strong look like he's experimenting with a little bit of a heel persona. I don't think that's a thing that's going to develop entirely, because people love Roderick Strong way too much. But, yeah, if it ends up being Roderick Strong versus Mustafa Ali at WrestleMania, that's really going to be sort of 205 Live versus NXT, which I don't know how that's going to go at all. Anyways, that's all we got to say about tonight. Please join me tomorrow, where we know Shayna Baszler is going to take on Kairi Sane. I've got a couple of interesting things to say about Kairi Sane, and I'm going to let you guys know more about the NXT Mississauga house show that I was at. Please join me next week when the other two quarterfinal matches happen. Gulak versus Andrews, Murphy versus Ali. Until then, I've been Spaz, your YWC reality check. Subscribe up there, talk down there, start a conversation, keep all these conversations going. Don't be a stranger. I will talk to each and every last one of you later, but for right now, I am tagging out. Bye, guys.